Hi everyone, welcome to this 5-part series that I'm going to do little short videos for you guys. The reason I wanted to do this is because I want to talk to you about when we set our business Fit to Thrive up, what we wanted to think about was some fundamental principles that people can follow to make sure that we're sort of ticking off all aspects of fitness to make sure we have a well-rounded health and wellness, thinking about longevity in later life as well. So what I'm going to do this week is we're going to talk about our number 1 key to thrive. Okay, we've got 5 keys to thrive, which is why we're doing it over the next 5 weeks. And our number 1 key is going to be mental balance. Okay, now there's a reason why this is number 1, okay? Because when it comes down to actually exercising, a lot of the time people know what they need to do. They know that they can do some push-ups and some squats and some sit-ups and maybe lift some weights, or they know they should go for long walks, or they could go for a run, or they can play, a sport or anything like this. And all these things, but a lot of the people know inherently what they could do to stay fit. Yes, we could improve those things and make sure that we're doing them better to maximize our output. But at the end of the day, most people know. And the same when it comes to eating good food. Most people know what a good diet looks like. Most people know that they should include some protein into their diet. They should have some carbohydrates. They need to eat lots of fruit and vegetables. They know they should drink lots of water. So most of us inherently know what we should do. And that's definitely something that as a business and as people, we love to help encourage better practices. But the reason why mental balance is number 1 is because without our mental sort of our mindset, our mental strength, a lot of those things can slip by the wayside because one, we don't have good strategies to manage our time, or maybe we struggle with motivation and things like that as well. So the reason why we have this mental balance as our number 1, our mindset, is because without that, nothing else happens, all right? And that can affect our moods throughout the day. It can affect how we interact with other people, and it can obviously affect our moods in terms of our motivation to go and do positive things in our life, get off the sofa and so on and so forth. All right, so this week I want you to think about mental balance. Now, what is that then? Because obviously mental strength, mindset, again, it's something that a lot of people talk about. Now, there's a reason why I use the word balance within this, because again, you can have some people that kind of are really talking about having this strong mindset all the time. We've got strategy, goal focused, always pushing hard, get comfortable with the uncomfortable, all of this stuff. And absolutely, that is one side of the coin. We should definitely be looking to have some intensity in our mindset, some purpose, some vision, some drive, and all those things that, if you're thinking about it in a kind of a dual kind of polarity kind of way, would be like a yin and a yang, okay? Like a yang being very masculine and very kind of forward thinking, very like aggressive in our mindset, very strategic, very logical, okay? But we also need to then balance that, don't we? Because if we're like that all the time, then there's a very good chance we're going to have high cortisol levels, high stress levels, all right? Because we're so constantly thinking about driven goals, very focused, much more intense, then after a while we can have burnouts. And this is a lot of people struggle to do that are very successful, is then to balance that with a more yin, a more sort of gentle mindset as well, where we think a bit more about self-care. And again, some people can verge towards that side also. They constantly think, oh, well, I'm going to give myself the day off, and if it feels good because I'm in the spa, or I'm sleeping in, and all these kind of things, again, which can be very positive for sure. But if we do too much of that side too, then we end up having a very weak mindset, and we struggle then to find motivation and the other side of that coin. So it's something to practice, and it's a skill, and it's about trying again to plan your week. How can you work on your mindset? So for example, if we're thinking about our general fitness, we definitely want to have some goals, don't we? We want to think about how we can set goals. We can make sure we hit our 5 keys to thrive that we'll talk through this week. And this week you could set a goal of focusing on mindset each day. That would be amazing. Start the day with a mindset kind of thing. You could do some goal setting. You could do some journaling. You could do some meditation or some breath work. You could think about strategy for getting those goals as well. So again, you've got this balance. Things exercises to switch the mind on as well, maybe learning something new, studying something, so we're constantly challenging the brain. So I want you to think about both those aspects because they're really important to balance out. Now, again, when it comes to goal setting and motivation and mindset, it's really important as well to have something that's more than just kind of an extrinsic reward. For example, I want people to look at me and think I'm in great shape, for example, look at my toned muscles or see that I look this way or that way, or or even just shorter term things like I want to feel great and I want to go feel great for this holiday, and that's sort of very short-sighted. I also want you to think, when it comes to mindset, about time as well, because time is really important. Because if we just set short goals that are very kind of superficial, then once we get there we have to set new goals, and if we're always building that habit of just superficial goals, then we might actually miss the bigger picture of why we're doing this as well in life. Now, you can go to our podcast. I do a whole podcast on mindset and talk about setting long-term goals, but make sure you're always thinking about something that's going to be much more intrinsic, much more rewarding mentally, maybe even spiritually, in the sense of why you might want to stay fit for the rest of your life, again, rather than just thinking about the next competition or the next holiday, or you've got a wedding or a stag do or whatever it is. What about long term? What would the 80-year-old you want from this planning and this mindset that you're going to do each day and build these habits? What would they want as well? So it's about thinking about, yes, your short-term goals and things that are going to make you happy, but again, is it happiness, or is it long-term happiness, or is it just something that's going to be like a quick fix, a kind of extrinsic reward that when you get it, you'll feel great, but it's not going to necessarily bring you like true happiness, all right? So something that's more long-term. So think about that in your mindset. Think about how you balance. Are you a very driven person that is always driving forwards, always thinking about the future, always being hard on yourself about, I need to make sure I get this to-do list done every single day, and if I don't, and I'm failing, and so on and so forth? If you're that sort of person and you're great at that, then maybe you can work on the other side as well. Something that's like less driven, that actually means you're a bit more in the present, in the moment. You're thinking about your current mental health, staying calm, trying to lower stress levels, because in the long run, that's actually going to make you far more effective at long term anyway, so you don't have those burnouts, all right? And then again, if you're the other way, if you're always thinking about taking the easier option and being kind to yourself, but not necessarily being kind, because sometimes being kind is like that tough love like we would do to our children. Sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do as well because we know they're good for us. So again, making sure we balance this and find that middle point, and everyone's is different, so it's about finding your mental balance and making sure you think about your mindset each day forever. That's going to really help you kind of succeed. So I hope that helps, and next week we'll be talking about cardiovascular fitness, our second key to thrive. Okay guys, have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.